you probably do not know a lot about the United States Supreme Court justices. However, a lot of you have probably been hearing about Justice Scalia in the news lately. That's part of what sparked this idea for me because he died in office and a lot of people weren't expecting him to die, so now it's up to a lot of controversy to see who should replace him, and that kind of made me think of this idea. After reading multiple articles, reading proposals to set a retirement age, and studying both sides of this argument, I hope to give you adequate amount of information on this topic. So the question I'm proposing is, should there be a set retirement age for Supreme Court justices? There are three main points that I would like to share. Why is a retirement age a good idea? Why are some people against a retirement age? And what is being or should be done about it? First, why should there be a retirement age for Supreme Court justices? Nothing in the Constitution explicitly promises federal judges lifetime appointments. According to Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution, they shall hold their offices during good behavior, which is very open-ended, and the Constitution was written when surviving infancy was a triumph. So the people who created the Constitution of the United States in the 18th century lived in a very different world than we live in. The idea that judges would get life appointments had a different kind of meaning than it does now, says Michael Sapol, a historian and author of A Traffic of Dead Bodies, a book about death and social identity. We do not want to change our justices every time somebody gets angry, but we are living in a world where you are appointing a justice at the age of 50, so you are going to have a lot of them serve for 40 years, says Paul Carrington, a law professor at Duke University. As more Americans live longer, institutions like the Supreme Court are undergoing profound change. A lifetime isn't what it used to be. Also, other countries and lower courts have term limits for a set retirement age. Many people say that the highest court should have the same restrictions that the lower courts in the United States have. Every place else in the world, they have age limits or term limits, says Carrington. High courts in the other countries have term limits or a retirement age set for their judges. Lifetime appointments do not necessarily follow the system of checks and balances that we have in the United States. Life tenure gives the justice control to some degree over his or her successor, says Carrington. Letting people serve as long as they desire gives them more power, which is frowned upon in our system of checks and balances, because no one branch is supposed to be more powerful than the other. Lifetime appointments give the justices more power, therefore giving the judicial branch more power than the other branches, which is unfair. There needs to be a constant flow of newer, younger judges to keep one generation from holding all the power. The staggered voting idea would also ensure a good mix of young, old, and middle ages. Also, according to an interview that I posted with Mrs. Ahrens, she says that age can cause a problem for some judges. Many judges will not make the choice to step down even after they have long since passed their prime. She gave the example of Ruth, one of the Supreme Court justices, who is very, very old, and she has a hard time walking, and when she's in a lot of really long meetings, she tends to fall asleep. So she thinks that there should be a retirement age so that doesn't happen. And so my next question is, why are some people against a retirement age? They are against a retirement age because not all judges start at the same age, causing them to serve a shorter amount of time than someone else. Also, some people are healthier and more aware at one age than someone else might be. That's why a lot of people that are against a retirement age are proposing term limits so that there will be no set retirement age. And a term limit would most likely be at one term of, say, 15 years. So it's pretty much basically the same thing. Also, other people argue that with age comes wisdom, maturity, and experience. And according to Mr. Cook, there are already things in place to keep judges from serving too long. So he does not think that there should be a retirement age because the House of Representatives can impeach a Supreme Court justice if they feel that they are incapable of doing the job. So what should be done about it? There are some proposals being considered in smaller courts today that look to either set a retirement age or set term limits for Supreme Court justices. Along with each large proposal, there are several much smaller proposals within them that may help the larger proposals get passed, such as the constant flow that I mentioned earlier. There are many pros and cons to a retirement age of Supreme Court justices, and I hope you realize some of them now. I talked to you about the benefits of retirement age, why some people are against them, and the actions that are being taken. So should the U.S. Constitution set a retirement age for Supreme Court justices? Now it's up to you to decide. I want you to be aware of this issue and think about it when you are voting. Remember, a lifetime is not what it used to be, so we need to change the way we think about it.